Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Yes, 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 yes. From the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8, verses 18, the word of God reads, "Remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you power to be successful, in order to fulfill the covenant he gave to your ancestors with an oath." Yes, Henry Ford said, and I quote, "If money is your hope for independence, you will never be rich. The real securities in this world is the serve of knowledge, ability, and experience." I'm Nana Morrison, and this is Cheers to God. I have with me in the studio, I call her the money lady. The money lady. I just want her to introduce herself. Please introduce yourself for being on. Thank you for being on Cheers to God. Introduce yourself.
Well, thank you, Nana, for this amazing invitation to be a part of Cheers to God. A little bit about Saundra. I am a city girl born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. I'm the next to the youngest of 11 siblings. I'm a mom of 6, believe it or not. I am a grandmother of 1. And I'm just one of those ladies that grew up in corporate America. You know, I was born in corporate, and I like to say they raised me to become the woman that you see today with God's, direction.
With God's direction.
Yes.
I fell in love with you. I know we were in church together, and after service, I was trying to talk to you, and you were in the spirit. Oh my God, that was just so beautiful to watch, because looking at a very powerful woman like you who loves the Lord, thank you for doing this. Thank you, thank you. There's so much I want to know. There's so much I want to know before I even get to who you are today. How was growing up? Did you just start with a silver spoon?
I wish, no, I did not. I never saw my mom struggle, but I knew there was struggle.
Wow.
And I knew there was struggle because there were 7 of us, and she raised us alone. So there was always things that were needed and things that we had to do on our own independently, where she didn't have time. So I had to work. I started work very young, 15 years old. They hired me, and he shouldn't have hired me, but he did. But he hired me, and I've been working ever since. And my mom always shared, "Saundra, dress for the job that you want." So even going into corporate, I always dressed successfully, in my opinion. But they used to look at me funny. Like my coworkers and my peers, they would say, "Where are you going?"
Wow.
And I say, "I'm going to work." And they said, "But why are you so dressed up?" I said, "I have to work for the job that God is going to give me someday."
You had not seen the job.
I had not seen the job.
But you were ready for the job.
He was preparing me for the job.
That's a great mindset. That is, wow.
So I just worked, and I was able to connect with some powerful people that helped me along the way. I was never alone.
What is one quote that has really been one thing that has been the source of your life? One quote that has helped you become who you are?
I get emotional when and I knew God was going to ordain this interview.
Yeah.
The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Whom shall I fear?
What is it about money that you love so much? You think about it in your sleep, when you're up, when you're jogging. Tell me, why money?
Well, money is something that we all need, number one. But it's important to understand that it's not the money, it's what we do with the money. Right? So when we think about money, we all want to make money. We all want to be wealthy. We all want to be rich. Money gives us options, guys. Right? We all want options when we're working for our money. And the thing about it is, we all work.
Yes.
And we work hard for our money. But what's exciting about money is your money working for you? When you're asleep and you finish working and God allows us to get back up and see a new day, your money has to work for you. If it's not, you're doing nothing.
Girl, are you telling me that there's... Because I always hear this saying that I make money in my dreams. Is that possible?
It's possible. But we have to understand, how do we do that? It's not a simple task. You don't just say, okay, Saundra, I can go to sleep and my money works for me.
But then I know it would be easy for a very successful person to say that. But for regular people like me who earns little money at the end of the month, how can that money that after paying all the bills and everything still how can I do something that will make me sleep and make a little money?
No, listen. Your money is just as important as a millionaire's money. Everyone started from somewhere. And when I share through education, it's small changes, big money. Small changes make big money. What do I mean by that? You can take your $1 a day, if that's all you're able to save. Educate yourself to understand, how can I make that $1 make me $2 when I wake up? And then make me $3. And then that 3 turns into 10. That's how money works. It's understanding where to put it, big or small, and make it work for you.
Wow. So, El Nightingale defines success as a progressive realization of wealth, of a worthy goal. What is your definition of wealth?
My definition of wealth is understanding where you come from and never forgetting where you come from. Because a lot of people, we've arrived today. We're real fancy.
Yes.
We make our first 6 figures and you can't tell me nothing. But wealth is what you've worked hard for. Because when you worked hard for something and you know the sacrifice that you took to put that in there, put that work in, you're not trying to let that go. You're going to keep working even harder to build more wealth. Because when you're always reminded where you come from, you will always win.
This takes me to why your financial service is called DNA. DNA Financial Service. Please, why DNA?
You know, DNA was birthed in my belly 12 years ago. And it started with a simple conversation talking to my sister. And she said, Nana, I was just a simple conversation. I said, sis, when are you looking to retire? And she kind of chuckled. She was like, I have to work until I die.
Oh my God.
And I said, what do you mean, work until you die? She said, sis, I'm not prepared for retirement. I financially educate businesses, me and my husband, I'm not alone. And I never thought to go to my family and ask them about money, because that's something we don't talk about in the families. We don't talk about money. But in that conversation, I said, the light bulb came on and I said, my God, I've been helping people, but I never thought to help my family. So when you think about DNA, we all have a unique DNA that God gives us, everybody. No one, every DNA is different. What we put in our bodies matter. Our bodies respond to what we put in it. But we have to invest in our bodies in order for us to live longevity through medicine or whatever that is, right? I'm not a doctor of sciences by any means, but likewise with our financial DNA. If you look at my logo, there's branches on that logo. Many financial homes start with big mamas, grandmas, right, or grandpas. They are the foundation of that household. So when that household is built, great grandma or big mama taught my mom how to understand money. And when we understand money, we only learn it how we were taught. So if Big Mama showed my mom making money and building wealth means work all your life, that's what my mom is going to do. So if we can show families how to continue those branches, because the foundation is at the bottom with families, but the branches are broken because we don't have any money. Our wealth stopped when big mom or great grandmother died.
Yes.
Because they worked all their life. But families don't have to do that. Just with simple knowledge of understanding simple concepts of how to make your money work for you, you can have the biggest tree in your home because your DNA matters.
You're talking about DNA. You're talking about family. Families like the Walton family, the Mars family, the Johnson family, for decades have proved that there is generational inheritance, generational wealth. What do you think are some of the projections they had for the future that helped them create generational inheritance?
Well, when you look at generational wealth, understanding that that was something, again, individuals were taught. So when we look at the wealthy and we say, oh, they were born with a silver spoon. When their parents died, wealth was already created for them. Why can't we do the same? We're no different than God made us all the same. It's what we do with our time. So when you think of passing down generational wealth, you can do it. Everyone that's listening to this live recording can build and pass on generational wealth. It's just a matter of understanding, how do you view yourself? Are you really ready to work? Because success is not easy.
Yes.
Building wealth is not overnight, it's over time. So the projection of understanding what wealth looks like depends on you.
Depends on me. I'm an immigrant. I come from Africa. Now, coming to America means that there was nothing home. I need to come and find a life. How can I create generational wealth for myself, for my future generation to have something in your pocket? What is one thing, just one thing, that can help me grow in order to succeed in that aspect of wealth?
Well, one thing I would say is understand what is your goal? What is your wealth goal? Do you know your number? Why are you wanting to get to wealth or achieve wealth? Because everyone starts with a dream. So my advice or my recommendation would be get connected to someone that can show you how to do that. You're an immigrant. You don't know the American dollar. Mm-hmm. So in order to do that, yes, can you YouTube? Absolutely. Can you Google? Absolutely. But how much knowledge, how much information out there is legit? So get connected to someone that you trust and sit down and ask them, what do you do? How does money work in the US? Right? Go to the bank. Go to a financial institution. Start there.
You said before you connect to wealth. So it means that becoming wealthy is a process.
Yes.
What makes someone rich? And how does it graduate to wealth?
So let me go back when I said small changes, big money. So understanding wealth, when I mean by your money has to work for you when you sleep, money works off of interest. We cannot just say, I have $500 and I take that $500 and I just put it in the bank. We have to understand, how does money work? That's the first key. Educating yourself on how does money really work? Does it work in real estate? Does it work in stocks and bonds? But while we're putting our money there, the wealth doesn't grow. It's the interest on the money that builds the wealth. Interest is key. The higher the interest on your money, the more money you get back. So if we take a simple rule, like the rule of 72, it's a simple concept, powerful. You take 72 and you divide it by the return on your money. So let's say we have $500 and we leave it in the bank. And the bank says, Nana, I'm going to give you 1% interest on your $500. Albert Einstein says, take that 72, divide it by the interest on your money. That's going to tell Nana how many years it's going to take for your money to work for you. So if we take 72 and divide it by 1, how much is 72 divided by 1, audience? 72. So it's going to take Nana's $500, 72 years to work and double to 1,000.
That's bad.
You'll be dead. So the power of interest is key to building wealth. That's one of the ingredients.
Power
But that's
of
the key.
interest. Power of interest.
But it's not just interest, it's compounding interest. You have simple interest and you have compounding.
interest.
Your money has to compound.
Are you telling me that putting my money in the savings account is not going to help me become successful?
Absolutely not.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Absolutely not.
Oh my God. I mean,
That's why we work forever, because our money is not working for us. So as you're working, when you clock out of work and you finish your 8 or 10 hours, is your job still paying you, Nana?
No.
Your money stops. But what you want is to find good interest, so while you're sleeping, your money is working for you.
I'm so excited to have you. I'm happy to have you. And I'm
Thank you for having me.
Because you're teaching us so much. For someone to be wealthy, what should be their scale of preference? What should be on their top list?
Wow, there's so many, but I would go to maybe the top 3. It should be, having a budget. You gotta have a budget. You cannot just spend. And I know that when we work, I've worked these hours, I'm gonna treat myself, right? We always wanna treat ourselves.
Yeah, we do that.
Nails, hair, it doesn't matter. I'm not leaving the fellas out. Cars, watches, they splurge too, right?
Even Starbucks coffee.
Starbucks coffee every single day. So we have to begin to be more disciplined in our spending. Spend less, save more. But it's easier said than done. So create a budget, stick to it. Pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. What do I mean? After you've taxed 4 times in your payroll, IRS, Uncle Sam, whom we've never met, by the way, Nana, he's taking his off the top.
Yes.
Pay yourself first. Before you pay the light bill, the gas bill, the cable bill, anybody, take whatever, 5%, 2%, put that and pay you, and then pay everybody else. Aren't you worth an hour of what you work? If you're working $20 an hour, $10 an hour, Nana, can you pay yourself $10 and put it to the side? Just imagine if you did that for 30 years. How much wealth will you have?
I think we always forget about ourselves.
We always forget about ourselves.
Yes.
Pay yourself. No one loves you outside of God more than you.
Talking about paying yourself, I was in church with you recently, and we had, I was a speaker for why should I even give my money to the church? And as a financial lady, because I pay a lot. I pay tithe, I pay offering, I pay all that. Now, with all the bills that we have to pay, I have to pay myself too. Then I have to pay all this. What would be your advice? Is it right to even do that as a woman of God, and how do you do it?
Well, I'm a tither. Again, after I've made my money, I give God his 10%. I give my offering. I give my benevolent offering. I'm always a fan of when you do that, pay yourself. Again, because if you don't pay yourself, you're gonna work 40 years of your life and never pay yourself. We're depending and we're hopeful that our 401ks is going to retire us. We're depending and we're hopeful that our bank accounts, and we're waiting possibly for maybe great-grandma or somebody to die to get an inheritance. But the inheritance of what? So I would always go back to pay yourself and then pay people. Because when you're finished working, what matters the most is your money. What have you saved? What have you built?
According to the Christian principle, what is wealth creation?
And when you think about, it's not just wealth, it's showing someone else. It's dropping down, it's reaching back to go to your fellow sister, your fellow brother, and show them what those principles look like.
Yes.
And then you build from there.
Great men, great men. I'm so excited to have you. So excited. But great men like J.C. Penney, Warren Buffett have proved that one can be successful. They have proved it. What are the principles they put in place to help them become successful or outstanding in wealth creation? Because is there something that we are not doing right? Apart from we're not paying ourselves, what is one thing that is you have come to experience that is very common?
What's very common is, number one, we don't save. We spend and then we save. That's the common denominator. I go back to paying you. When you pay you, everything else, it matters, but everything else can be divided amongst whomever you have to pay out to. But you mentioned Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett's famous rule is, rule number one, never lose money. Rule number two, never forget rule number one. You never lose money. So what we need to understand is that we make the money, but we go take care of us first. We're too busy paying people. We pay millionaires. We pay J.C. Penney. We pay Starbucks. We pay Amazon. We pay Walmart. We're paying people. Who's paying us? Who's paying you? That's what we have to begin to say. I'm going to stop spending. I'm going to stop spending.
You said, Warren Buffett said, never lose money.
Never lose money.
How is that possible?
How is that possible, never to lose money? You have to begin to say.
Okay, I know you want to hear.
Yes.
I'm going to go on a break. We'll be right back. Yes, we are still here, and I'm still with the money lady, DNA Financial Service. This is Nana Morrison, and cheers to God. We were just talking about ways on how we don't have to lose money. Go into it.
Man, that's a really good question. Because
No.
when you guys want to know?
We want to.
Well, here's the secret, and it's not even a secret. We have to understand where we place our money matters. It determines how we build wealth. So there's three buckets, three buckets where we place our money today. Three tax buckets, might I add. There's tax now, tax later, tax never. Tax now, tax later, and tax never. So how does this work where you don't lose money? Tax now is simply your checking, your savings, your CDs, your stocks, your mutual funds, your Bitcoins, your crypto, right? That's tax now. So that's just simply saying if the market's up, you win. The market's down,
You lose.
you lose. Any interest, any dividends that you earn in these type of plans, you pay taxes, which means you're losing some of your wealth. But let's move over to tax later. Tax later is that you're not paying taxes now and you're not losing now, but you may pay taxes or you will pay taxes later. Does that make sense? So what are the tax laters? Those are our 401ks, our 403bs, any employer plans. You have your pensions, you have your annuities, you have your IRAs, where many of us place a lot of money there. So those are vehicles where your money is still in the market, but you're not taxed on that money right now. You're just taxed later when you're ready to take your money out, which means you're losing.
You're losing, yeah.
Because Uncle Sam is going to not tax you now, but he's going to get you later.
Later.
But let's go to the third.
never.
Tax never.
I like that.
Tax never are your Roth IRAs, your 529 college funds or college plans for your children. You have index strategy protection plans. You have long-term care disability plans. And you have bonds, HSA accounts. So these are accounts, family, that you place your money there, you never lose, and you win. In the money game, might I add. So that's how you never lose money. You place your money where the wealthy place their money. People are not wealthy because they lose money. You never lose money in the money game. You just have to understand, where do I place my money where I never lose again? Because you work too hard for it.
You never lose money. So meaning failing, losing, really doesn't mean anything. Because there are many great men that have failed at a certain point in life. Thomas Edison failed approximately 10,000 times while he was working on the light bulb.
Yes.
Henry Ford was broke at the age of 40. Lee Iacocca was fired by Henry Ford II at the age of 54. In few words, what would be the best way to handle setbacks in finances? Just like what you're talking about, not to lose money. I made an investment and I lost. How do I bounce back out of it?
Well, you start where you are. The younger you are, when you're in your maybe 18 to 25, maybe 30, you have time to lose. You can bounce back because you're younger. As you get older, you begin to realize that when I'm in my 40s, I look at my money different. You understand? So the way that you invest and want to invest should be very calculated. So that's where those brackets come. Many of us have our money in tax now, but as we age and get older and make those mistakes of losing, you begin to realize that I don't want to lose too much anymore. So I want to move some of my money here. So you really just start where you are. You don't quit. It's never too late to save. I've educated and talked to so many people where they're, Saundra, I'm 65, I'm in retirement and I'm now saving. Start where you are.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
You're saying that bankruptcy at a younger age is okay? For somebody to be at the age of 30 and they have filed for bankruptcy, you're saying it's okay?
Of course it's okay. Why is it okay? Because we serve a mighty God, a God strong in battle.
Yes.
The joy of the Lord is our strength. The joy of the Lord is our salvation. All of those things we can speak back to us. But we have to understand that a setback is not the end. A setback is just a comeback for greater. That's all it is. So when you look at bankruptcies and young adults, that's okay. even in your 50s or 60s doing bankruptcy, and it's okay. But what we have to understand is get with someone that is a professional that can help you build from where you are.
I'm bankrupt. I have no money. Now, how do I get to this person? They're going to charge me. It's not free.
There are services out here that are complimentary.
Okay.
Talk with DNA. When we sit down with families and sit down with amazing people like yourself, we don't charge families.
Okay.
Education is something that we lack today.
Okay.
And that's why we're bringing financial knowledge from Main Street to Wall Street. Because families need financial knowledge. And why do they need it? Because they work. We have nurses, we have doctors, we have professionals. They don't work just 8 to 5, they're 11 to 7, they're overnight. When they're finished working, do they have time to understand their money? No. But when you position yourself to say, I know you're a nurse, I know you're a single mom and you don't make a lot. Do you have time so I can sit down with you and show you and help you in some ways in which you can begin to save and build wealth?
With as little as you have.
With as little as you have.
So I have saved some money, right? I want to invest into something. How can I detect that an investment is good or bad and can lead me to bankruptcy?
I would first start with sitting down with, again, a professional.
Okay.
Go through your full financial strategy or your portfolio to kind of understand where you are today. Because investments is not for everybody. So it's understanding what investments or what plans work for you. Because everyone's in crypto and Bitcoin, that doesn't mean it worked for you.
Some people don't even understand.
They don't even understand it. They're just doing it because other people are doing it.
Yeah.
And they're losing and don't know why.
They don't know why.
So you sit down with a professional and you understand where are you, and then you build from there. Because there are steps. It's not just saying, no, yes, to do this. But it's through the education where you're going to understand, Saundra, this is where I'm at. Here is my short-term goals. Here is my 5-year goal. And then we start there.
We've been talking about generational wealth. A company, I have maybe as a mother, I have built a company that's doing so well. How can what are some of the mechanisms that I can put in place to make sure cash flow in my business or enterprise does not cut off in my absence?
Powerful question. I'm gonna look at the camera for this one. As a business owner, myself, a mom of 6, a grandmother of 1, understanding that when you can't speak for yourself, if there's any time in your life where you are unable to work, 3 months, 6 months, it doesn't matter. Who do you want to show up for you? Most people might say their spouse, their children, their mom, their dad. That's true. But you want your money to show up. Nana. So as a business woman that's operating and running a successful business, you have to begin to understand, are you building and paying yourself?
Yes.
You cannot just put everything back in the business. You have to understand that as a business owner, you don't have a 401k. No one's paying you. You're the employee and the employer.
Yes.
So you have to begin to say, if there's any time, you can't work all your life. So you have to sit down with a professional to say, how can I make sure that if at any point in my business I can't work, or I choose to pass on my business to my heirs, that money continues to flow. You have to sit down with someone and build that.
At what age is it appropriate for one to begin to plan his succession role?
When they're 14 days old.
That's too early.
No, it's not.
It's not?
You invest in your child. I wish my mom knew what I know or what I knew now. Hear me good. As soon as an individual is 14 days old, invest in their life. The sooner you start, the more wealth you're going to build for later. We're now in our 40s and our 50s learning money. We lost 30 years of building wealth.
Yes.
So if I can show a mom who just had a beautiful baby how to invest to make sure their children's children's children never ever see debt, feel debt, experience debt, I've changed a community forever.
You have.
You invest as soon as you can. Don't wait. Time is one of the key formulas in building wealth. Time can be your friend on your money, or it can be your enemy. Start today.
Bill Cosby said that. Bill Cosby said, and I quote, he said, I don't know the key to success, but the key to failure is trying to please everyone. What would you say about this?
I would use that same quote. The key to failure is paying everyone.
Paying everyone.
And not paying yourself.
Yes.
I go back to that.
You go back to it.
The key to success is learning what are the tools? What is the wealthy really doing? How are they able to really make this kind of money and never pay taxes?
How?
How is that possible? Is that legal?
They know something we don't know.
Of course.
That's why we need an expert like you.
But you can, exactly. But it's not even being an expert. It's just Nana and the viewers that's watching simply saying, I have a made up mind today.
Yes.
I'm going to invest in my family's future and just take the opportunity to learn more about how money works. That's all they need to do.
Man, I say, as a parent,
That's it.
like this question, I really want to get this question out there. When it comes to heroism, how do you select the rightful heir to your inheritance? You've made wealth. What's the best way to select somebody who is right for it to even keep it growing?
It's a great question. The wealthy have in place what they call an estate plan.
Okay.
It's a trust to ensure that you keep the government, IRS, and people out your business. When we build wealth, again, your wealth is whatever you have, Nana. So I want the audience to understand that when we talk about wealth, it's not millions of dollars. If you have it, great. But your wealth can be your $100 a month that you're saving, your $10 a month that you're saving. Whatever you have is your wealth. But whatever it is you have to protect it. And in order to do so, you have to put that in place while you're living. Because when you can't speak for yourself, you have all of this money, you have this business, you have this studio. No one knows what Nana wishes were. But someone may guess or think that they knew. But if you don't put it on paper and write it down, the government, the court system is going to make those decisions. And you don't want that.
Yes.
Because now everything is locked up. Your kids the monies were taking care of them, that's locked up because probate is taking over. But with a trust and with an estate plan, you keep them out your business. And you put in place how you want your wealth to be divided, to be taken care of. You always have a backup. But again, you work with a lawyer, legal team, and the necessary professionals to help you put those things in place.
My God. You are doing so good. You have left me speechless. I've learned so much from you. I want to be part of this service. I want to start growing the little that I have. Because it's like, just listening to you, I know that you're going to help coach me for this little to be something great.
Yes.
How can anybody find you?
You can find Talk with DNA on Instagram. You can reach us at Talk with DNA #1, at Talk with DNA #1, excuse me. You can also reach me on my website at DNA-. dna-financialservices.com, dna-financialservices.com. But I do want to leave my audience with some knowledge that you can take. I come bearing gifts. So if you're someone that's watching this video, I want to bless you with this book. This book is called Saving Your Future. Not Saundra's future, but your future. If you want to understand everything I talked about, it's in the book. We don't have to be ignorant of money. All we have to do is read and understand how to make the money work for you. So I will email you, I will mail you a complimentary copy of this book. You can reach me at those 2 locations. And I will also go a step further to invite you to workshops. So if you're someone that wants to learn about money and really sit down with a professional to say, Saundra, I don't have a lot, but I really want to learn, this workbook is complimentary as well. You can find this website, how to get access to the free website, the free workshops on my website. And there you go. There's no reason why you should today be ignorant about how money works. I'm going to give you the tools.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being on Cheers to God. Thank you. Just give me one of those books and let me just feel it. Because, hey, knowledge is power.
It's power.
Saving your future.
Yes.
I want you to get one of these books. You can reach us on Cheers2_God on Instagram, Cheers to God on Facebook, Cheers to God on YouTube. My personal Instagram is Nana Morrison_. Our website is available right now at www.cheerstogod.com. And send me messages, anything, and ask of this book.
Yes.
And hey, I can still help you get it and be part of our services. I'm excited.
Thank you
I've learned
so
so much. You're a woman of God.
Thank you.
You're not just doing this out of books, but you understand the principle of Christianity and what the Word of God says about wealth, and you are using it, you are changing lives, and thank you.
You're so
Thank
welcome.
you so much.
I
Thank
thank
you.
God. Thank you for
I don't
having
want
me.
you to go.
Thank
But
you
we
for
have to
having
end
me.
the show. Thank you. It's my pleasure. We have to end the show. We have to end the show. And like I always say, with God, everything is possible. Trust in Him. Give Him your all. He will transform your life. He will give you wisdom. He will teach you. He will give you the right ways and the best way to become whatever you want to become. See you next time. Have a blessed week. Have a blessed day. Remember that God loves you. I love you. And whatever you're going through, know that Jesus is always there. Call on Him and He will save you. Thank you for watching Cheers to God. I'm out. Bye.